folks, welcome to an episode of Friends Journey to Legendary. That's right, we're going to try to showcase some games of other folks playing. Holy cow, I just looked down. We are witnessing a rank 50 Legendary. So I know you all are willing to watch my games, but I'm hoping to bring you some really high level play. And right here we got somebody rank 50, Carbon 77. This is giving me a chance to practice casting while also being able to showcase some really great games for you guys, some high-level play. Doesn't necessarily have to be all high-level play. It's really going to depend on who's available and who's willing to play and who's actively going after stuff. But willing to showcase anybody. It's not a matter of just a certain amount. I actually hadn't seen Carbon 77 play before, so I had no idea he was ranked this high. This is fantastic. So here we go. Let's just try to get into it as we stand now. Running what looks like. I don't even know if you could call it a Prophecy Guildsworn, but just like a solid mid-range Guildsworn is what it appears like against, at this point, what seems to be your prototypical Telvanni. We'd probably expect to see a Blackhand Messenger come down. Thank you, Carbon77. All right, so sorry for that. I typically am not going to be taking messages, but if it's the person that I am actually watching play, I do want to see if I can get them to, verify, especially if I haven't talked to them before or talked to them very often, verify that they're okay with me recording the game, letting them know that I'm recording, just for some, so that they know that they'll have some eyes on the game. And also, of course, just responding in general. All right, so, despite being, again, what I would say is more mid-range, Carbon has managed to whittle his Telvanni opponent down to 3 cards in hand. He's got the amulet down, but aside from that, things are not looking great for Telvanni. I'm guessing they're, waiting for turn 10, 11, 12-ish for your conscriptions and things. I'm not sure that's exactly what they're running, obviously, but hopefully we're going to see some finesse here. I'm trying to think. I don't want to try to project what I would do, but if there's time, to pontificate as to how I would handle it. I did miss, and I'm sorry for you all because I was texting, so it covered the screen, which is why I cut it out. I wasn't sure what that 3/4. I don't know. Can I see what the 3/4 is linked to? What it is going to bring back? Thorn Hiss Mage. Okay, there we go. All right, so it brings back a guard and ramp. Upon death. Sentinel Battle Mace, maybe? For the breakthrough? It really depends here. Alrighty. Yeah, Carbon 77. I mean, and this is instructional for me too, because as you all know, I've struggled with Telvanni and playing that, especially as a mid-range deck. So this is great instruction for me and for an audience as well to see somebody who's playing at this level, to see how they handle control deck when they themselves are not necessarily control. So we saw there he was willing to make the trade, just a straight up trade, get the 3/4 down for some draw power. Cloud Rest and Execute could come down for removal to get the 3/4 in there. It's not going to matter. The Harpy shackling it so cruelly as Harpies do with their obnoxious little battle cry. Skaven takes care of the naughty bird. And we do still see the Cloud Rest come down for a favorable trade. Full line, everything dies to Ice Storm. Unfortunately, if PC51 is sitting on an Ice Storm, that's a precarious position to be in, but it really couldn't be helped. So here's hoping that, and I don't think they have it. They would have played it by now, I'd imagine. So I think they're safe for the time being. Carbon is safe for the time being from that. Question is if he's going to just go all in right now. He's going to be able to hit for 6, 9, 12, 16. If he just goes in with what we know he has. Mana Marker coming down. What did he... We did miss some of the earlier games, so I'm not entirely sure what he could bring back. It's not going to be something pleasant, though. We know that. Okay. It's not a guard. Apparently the PC51 is not expecting to be rushed down at this point. I would anticipate the little kitty is going. I can't remember the kitty's name. What is it again? The Discerning Thief. Yeah, Discerning Thief's going to hit to get that card draw. Fear Totem. Okay, gets rid of Nut Bunnies. I'm too slow. What did you get rid of? Oh, Execute. Okay, yeah, that's a great call. That's a great call. Aside from maybe a Black Hand Messenger, I really don't think there's going to be too many things they'd want to do. Okay, brings out the mace. And is, in fact, going in, is going to make the push. Again, we're really hoping for... And it's interesting. He actually put Mana Marco back, knowing that Mana Marco could summon something back. I think he just knows... I would assume he hasn't lost any Drain creatures, so he knows anything else that Mana Marco could bring back isn't going to help PC51 stave off an attack. Probably going to see Thorn Hiss Mage here, I would imagine. That seems, guard, ramp. No, okay, is opting for the 2-1. Probably wise. He's really trying to stall out.
Of the living.
What Carbon 77 is trying to do. This is always that precarious place, and that's why I'm interested to see, when do you make that turning point? When do you make that push? Because all you have to do is give Telvanni some cards, and they can start really making things frustrating for you, and understandably so. This is probably all right. And Kano's a great pickup. You always want to see your late game coming in the late game. 8-8. I mean, right on curve. That was a fantastic draw. He's gonna hit the 2-3. No, okay. He's gonna get rid of the 3-5. Favorable trades again. That amulet giving him some value there, but he does trade everything off. Mash removal once again. The hand. What was it called? The Fingers of the Mountain and Ice Storm. Obviously difficult. Leaves Ancano on the board. Although at this point they can almost afford to play several things. So with the amulet, heals back up to 21. Three runes still left to break. And that is going to make things infinitely harder. What are we going to see? Banished. I don't know if a Lightning Bolt has been played. That I'm sure would be the first choice. I don't think it has been. They still have Thief. Fear Totem. That's probably... Let's take a look here. That's probably really the only... Yeah, it doesn't really have a whole lot in the discard pile at this point. He's been keeping his creatures alive. All right, Piercing Javelin's going to eat that up. Oh, let us hope that Carbon has the douche somewhere in the deck. Or a Belly G. Otherwise, this could really start to be a bit of a pickle. He's going to be able to... Ooh. Ravenous Hunger. Creepy little devil. Oh, that amulet, man, I tell you. 3-1. Discerning Thief is going to really help out here. Hopefully give him some options. Probably get rid of either one of those two. They're both... There we go. That's the high end we want to see. Get that out for Altar. It may be a moot point.
Preparations have been made.
Looks like I don't know what. Maybe if they've got a conscription. I don't even know if they're playing conscription. I would assume so. Oh, Odaving, but it's not going to be enough. Not going to be enough. And Kano stands strong with 1 health. And Carbon 77 has... Wait, what? Oh. Belly G is going to make the difference, though, and allow the clean hit. Well played, Carbon. Great game. Yeah, being able to draw your end game at the end of the game is so huge. That was a fantastic display. A fine display, as my avatar would say. All right, we'll go ahead and give him a GG and see what other game we can queue into. So apologies on the broadcasting end of things. I'm trying to pick up games as they begin, but it's really hard. A lot of folks actually aren't playing right now. Usually I get on here and there's like 9 people and they're all doing crazy stuff, but right now there's just not a whole lot happening. So we've just come into Banana Schwaaard playing in an arena game, which is why we're seeing a peculiar array of cards. Pillaging Tribunal is one you really don't see outside of arena. And unfortunately we're catching it pretty much at the end. I mean, the favorable result we're seeing what looks to be possibly being able to close it out. Well, no, I take that back, actually, now that I'm seeing what is arrayed against him. Well, no, nothing. Actually, as things stand now, all his stuff would survive. Most of his stuff would survive the attack. His 4-7 and the Pillaging Tribune. Okay, that definitely changes the combat. No, it does not. It misses. It's a whiff. I'm a little out of sorts here. We're just kind of coming into the game trying to get my bearings here. Let's see. That was a huge whiff. Huge whiff for Shake It Baby. NPO, unfortunately. That would have allowed a favorable trade with that whole lane, the whole shadow lane. How's it? Okay. Alright. Wow. I had a Fabric and it gave him just what he needed. That one extra point of damage allowed the trade. So this is going to be a little tight. The opponent has a pretty sizable board. Guard is not something you want to see at this point. Underworld Vigilante is great, but Prophecy on turn 10. It looks like this is taking a bit of a turn for the worse. Opponent has 13, 18, 22 on damage against a guard. The guards are going to take a little bit of that off. Oh, no, he chooses not to play the guard. So I don't know if he is acquiescing or he wants to get some... he wants to draw some cards. Opponent is probably not going to go for face at this point, not with only 10 on the board, or 10 health. So they're probably going to store up. And, okay, yeah, if Little Girl can go off, Underworld Vigilante is going to help that. It may just be prolonging the inevitable. Just the inverse of what we saw last game. Solitude Stalwart is not what you want to see on turn 11. So this, unfortunately, looks like it's going to be GG for Banana Schwaaard. Do they have enough to finish it off now? That's 20, 26. No, they're 11 off as things stand. Let's see if they have any buffs coming down. Probably don't want to drop them below 26, but I do expect them to hit for at least 7 or 8 at this point to get them within striking range next turn. Okay, that should buff them up to 28. I mean, they're still not going to be able to do it, but they are going to get them on the brink. Probably stop there. Yeah, and it looks like Crusader's Assault not enough to get past 6/6. Can't slay, can't break through. May be good enough to delay. I don't think so, though. I think this is gonna be a loss for our friend Banana, but this is something I've seen many times. That's why I typically avoid Arena. Hopefully, Shake It Baby can just kind of give him a good clean death here. But probably just contemplating the... Reach would have been so nice a few turns ago. Oh, look at that. My goodness gracious. Give that to the Vigilante along with Crusader's Assault. Just a few turns too late. And... yeah, barring a crazy prophecy, game over.
It has been my honor.
A formidable display.
Respectable end. And we can only hope that... there's better games afoot. We can certainly return to Banana Schwaab's games depending on what else is going on, and but we'll queue up another one. All right, we're going to be jumping into Mark's game. I expect him to be Legendary 49. All right, so we had Carbon at 50. We've got Mark at 49, and we are getting this right at the beginning of the game. Broda, I have heard the name. I'm not familiar. I don't know that I've ever played against him, but I am familiar with it. Playing as... Azura, I think, is the AZZ. But Mark, with what I believe is his the Control Empire. I believe he actually gave me the list, so I'm familiar, and it's a tried and true deck. I think he's got a little more shiny, though. Mark, you have to let me know if you got some more bling in here. I don't remember it being so shiny, but that could just be my recollection, or me confusing it with my deck. Clearly, he is up against an aggro opponent who has peculiarly drained for 12. Doesn't seem to be typical. Oh, I just noticed. This is how slow my observation is. So we've got a top 10. Top 10 here, rank 30. So yeah, Mark's definitely got his work cut out for him here.
Speak, citizens.
See if he can stem the tide. If too much more gets played, it's going to make for a great immolating blast, but he's going to need to survive and get a little more value out of it. If he can get 2 cards played in the... Nope. Okay, Broda's playing around immolating blast, possibly. I don't know if that's voluntary or just being cautious. It wouldn't have been a great play anyway. Is he going to go for a Monk Strike on this one, or just the value? Okay, oh, no, okay, great. So he's going to buff up the 3/3, help it survive, and give it the drain that it desperately needs right now. Will lose it on the next play, but he does have Monk Strike to kind of right the ship. Myriad sitting in hand. Oh, goodness gracious. That is painful. That setting up. He's going to have to play the Myriad just to get the damage off the board. It's unfortunate. It's a desperation grab. You want to do that with, you know, a belly G or something really big when it comes down, but he had to get that off the board because he. I don't know. Crusader doesn't have a ton of reach, and I don't know what Broda's running. If he's running a list with a little more charge, the ones that I've seen more often than not, maybe a gavel. Almost always a Dawnbreaker. But that alone would have been enough. A Dawnbreaker onto this little gimpy little fellow here. You know, just a really sad Goofy is what he looks like. With glowing eyes. Okay, freaky Goofy. But looks like Broda's weighing his options. I don't know if he's contemplating whether he should play some reach here, and even though it's not going to finish him off, or what. I'm not sure what the holdup is. Monk Strike is still going to be good here, though, especially if something gets played in the field lane. I would expect the next card to come into the shadow lane. I, of course, am wrong. And he has the charge. Does he have a way to buff it, or is he just going to get him down to 1? Get him down to 1. Myriad is going to be able to drain, put a guard down in the shadow lane. It's going to keep him within range, but with Broda still having those 3 cards, if he's got more of those charge, he's really got him down. You don't get. I'm going to state the obvious here. You don't get closer to death than 1. And now he's been able to turn the corner. He's not really safe just yet, but being able to put down guards in both lanes is going to be a benefit. Oh, okay. He chooses. Okay, he is anticipating more. More cards to be deployed in the shadow lane. A really smart move. I would be nervous personally just about another charger coming down. So yeah. But again, Mark's at 49. I have yet to break top 100, so I'm not questioning. Just so you all know, I'm never going to be like, oh, that wasn't the right play. But I'm just, kind of getting my thoughts out there. Not saying that they're right or wrong, just that was my, particularly having just seen a 6/6 charge come down. But perhaps he knows something we don't know, or that's just he's playing the odds that the battle is going to be more than likely fought in the shadow lane. He's going to want to have bodies there to make that more difficult. Makes a trade to get down to 5/5 into the shadow lane again. To Mark's credit. Wonder if he trades the 3/2 in and gambles on a immolating blast. Oh man! Oh, Grizzly Gourmet and Cloud Rest Illusionist, great combo for the 5/5. Wow, that was clutch. That's a great combo to have there. Otherwise, I feel like the Gourmet and the Execute wouldn't have any value really at this point in the game.
The Night Mother will guide us.
Not to say that Broda won't be drawing some of his early game, but the likelihood is very slim, and that's going to be a huge help. And Mark just may be able to be making a late game swing. Again, coming back from 1. Oh! And he's got a Myriad as well. That is really unfortunate. I think Immolating Blast might come down here. You're really hoping that it's just the It's just a little sweet roll that survives. 4-3, not the worst case scenario, not the best. Oh, man. Would not have expected a Marak in what looked like what looked to be a more aggressively oriented Crusader list. But there you have it. Expect the unexpected, as somebody says in this game. I can't remember who it is. Skaven. See, there we go. Get some early cards. Okay, Tullius. That's a great pickup here.
Awaiting your command.
Throwing down guards in each lane. I'm not expecting there to be breakthrough in this. It would have to be typically. I think the only charge breakthrough you have in strength is Orc, the Headhunter, and this does not look to be an Orc build. So I don't think he has to worry as long as he's got those guards down. Come to think of it, I either played Broad or I played somebody like him because I remember getting Maraked. I was like, I did not expect to see a Marak the way this. Oh, breakthrough. Speaking of which, I think Shadowfen is going to be huge. Oh, do you spend? I don't think you spend New Era here. Although, maybe because Shadowfen can't. It will remove breakthrough, but it doesn't get rid of the 6/5. This is going to be an interesting thing because he's not. Mark is not going to be getting a lot of value out of any of the cards that come back. He may want to keep Tullius on the board. At the very least, I think he needs to silence the 6/5, but that is a very tough call. That is a very tough call. Almost seems, well, no, Immolating Blast is going to hurt him more than it hurts his opponent, for sure. And it would be a very desperate gamble. You might as well just New Era at that point. Okay. Which looks like that's what's going to happen. Oh, but just like the Marak, that's not a comfortable New Era. That's not one you're happy about.
Soldiers,
especially because it's pulling your guards off the board, and unless he can get a new start. Oh my gosh, I think that's probably all 3 Cloud Rush. Oh goodness gracious, that is so clutch. If
this should help you.
yes, all right. So, barring a charge, Mark's going to at least get one.
So little to do.
Oh, dear goodness, that might be it. That's going to be it. That's going to be it. Man, what a top deck. Which just goes to show you, I guess, maybe this is a mid-range Crusader list that Broad is playing, but yeah, that's crucial. I mean, Mark could still draw. He could, if he can get a Piercing Javelin or any of his removal here. Obviously, I mean, that goes without saying. I'm guessing Theoden's gonna just knock off the 4/4. I don't think he's gonna push unless he's
A formidable display.
Dawnbreaker. No. 2 Crusaders results. Wow. GG, Mark. That's a rough one. You held him off really well. I mean, holding off on 1 life. That was a hard thing. But yeah, I remember playing that kind of Crusader, and you really don't expect to see those big cards at the end. I guess it's just a very solid mid-range. Might want to put one of those lists together myself, actually. Alrighty, and we're back with Carbon77. Going to cue into another one of his games and see how well he is faring. Oh my goodness gracious! We have a mirror match. I think this is the first time we'll be able to see both sides of the game. We'll be able to see what's in both our parent, not opponent. I mean, they're both our. Oh, but no, because we're in with Carbon, it's not going to let me see Mark's. Even though there has to be a way to do that, though, isn't there? I'm sorry, I'm getting into technical difficulties here, but again, pretty evenly ranked. Mark coming off a very close loss just a moment ago against a Crusader, and Carbon coming off of a fresh win that brought him down from rank 50 down to 44. So they're going to be battling it out here. We're going to see the mid-range Guildsworn against New Era Control Empire. So we'll see if the Empire can strike back. I'm going to just use that line as much as possible because I don't know why. Oh, All right, focusing in on the game here instead of just flapping my gums. Highly unfortunate. 2 Daggerfall mages getting nuked. One by Execute, one by
Here we make our
the
stand.
creepy chef, who seems to have cannibalistic leanings. Interesting to see if Mark is going to try to go, if he's just going to go in, or if he's going to bide his time. No, okay, he's going to go in early. Whether maybe the last game kind of was rankling enough, or if he's got a kind of a sense that he smells blood in the water that he can make a push. Because usually he's very, very reserved, at least in the games that I'd seen in the past. He's a little has a tendency to hold back a little bit more. I don't think he's going to break the rune here, not for 2. Yeah, he's going to hold off. The douche comes down. We'll have some utility if he wanted to use it. Say his assault, get some more draw there. Right now, he is definitely not wanting for cards. Probably wants to get that 3/4 down. No, okay.
Citizen.
Chooses the 3/3. Interesting.
Speak, citizen. Speak,
The-
citizen.
Okay, he is. Yeah, Mark is going. He's out for blood here. He is looking to. I would think just looking for a quick W to kind of bounce back from the last game. But as a result, he is running low on cards. Maybe he has a fresh start in hand to refill and to. To continue to press on. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I would have thought maybe in the field lane and in conjunction with Unstoppable Rage if he survives. I mean, and right now Mark would have had to trade 2 cards in to. Would have had to trade both those cards and another card or have a removal. And maybe that's it. Maybe Carbon's playing around the possibility of removal because if he plays a 3/6 over there. And it goes away. At least this way it can. Oh, and there's a bit of a punish going into one lane there. Hard to play around. Really hard to play around Empire's removal because it is so varied. It's like, well, do you spread it out? Which is usually, I think that's kind of your best bet. Again, this is not a lecture thing. This is just me pontificating. It seems like your best bet against willpower, particularly once you realize it's control, is to spread the board out as much as possible, getting you away from Dawn's Wrath and all the possible devastation of a immolating blast. But that can be really hard to do. Mark trying to make a last push, unless he gets some significant drawdown, though. It looks like Carbon is going to stabilize right here. Doesn't have Drain in hand, but sitting at 17 health, he's really not in a bad place, considering. One thing Mark does have going for him is, as a control deck, he does have a pretty beefy high end. So even if he does stall out here, when Carbon decides to make the push, if he doesn't do it in a burst, which I would kind of expect that he does. Okay, creepy gourmet guy takes down the 1/2. I'm thinking that was maybe the only. All right, Daggerfall. Let's see if this Daggerfall can last a little bit longer. I think this is going to be the 3rd one, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, he said I'm going to get value out of this thing before it can get unceremoniously removed. Okay, there's only one Daggerfall in the graveyard, so apparently I missaw, and it was only one Daggerfall that got hacked. And Revenge of the Sweet Roll. Oh goodness gracious! Not with no value towards one player or the other. It's always good to see, I think, a Sweet Roll arming itself and taking revenge for its sad happenstance. And I'm guessing we're going to see the Grizzly Gourmet come back again and take out the 2/1 or the 2/2. I guess. Yeah, that makes more sense. Making another Sweet Roll that could get a Total of Alteration. We could see another Revenge of the Sweet Roll. I'm not entirely sure if you want to spend that on the Recruit. Nope. Okay, he's going to put it on there. We're not going to see any more num from. No more yummy, delicious vengeance or revenge.
We must protect our stronghold.
It's a dish best served without a dagger. Put it that way. Okay, I'm done talking about that now. Back into things. Mark probably really just needing some draw right now. He's putting up a fight, but he's got him down to 16. Oh, but a drain comes down. This might bring out a concession. I don't know. Interesting Carbon breaking the runes there, but it looks like he is with two big bodies on the board now and drain. And there's the new era to come. That's always the risk. That is always the risk against Empire. It's one thing that I've, part of my beef with New Era is just, you have to push because that's how you win. But you always have to be aware that that card is lurking and it can rob you of the board. Fortunately for Carbon, he does still have quite a few cards to play, including the Belly G. I don't know that he'd want to eject either of those cards. He may want them to stay for the sake of the Unstoppable Rage, because I think 7, 5, 3, 8. No, that's actually not going to do it.
The forest will not suffer your presence.
Okay, all right. Don't see that very often. You don't see the Thorn Mage reduced so that an execute can be inflicted upon him. You just kind of forget that it starts off as a 2/4 and gets buffed because it adds Magicka and it gets buffed every time it does so. And Kano is going to be a great play. Okay, he's going to choose to bounce instead. That maybe the 3/2, I'd imagine. I mean, you want to bounce the 4/4, but it... Oh! Fantastic. See? These are the kind of big brain plays that you're here to see, the ones that I would not necessarily have thought of. I'm only limited to what's he going to do from the opponent. He sees that. That was something that was brought up in another game, I believe. Dano was commenting, said that I should have used a card that removes, sends a card back to hand to get some draw power back into mine. Cast in a time, more of Empire removal there. Mark will probably get a draw for this, unless he has another silence. He does not, so Mark will be able to draw. Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think he was going to rage there. Going to start creeping back into health. Interesting why that it went in that order. I mean, it's no big deal. It's 1 health, I think. Yeah. All right, and Carbon continues to go on the offensive here. And to be fair, barring a Dawn's Wrath, Oh, okay, he's denying him the card draw. That is interesting. Oh, Immolating Blast, going to do its thing again. Hard to play around that removal, that mass removal. That's really coming in clutch for Mark. But they are pretty much, we're tied up at health now, 17 to 18. So it really is anybody's game. Carbon has the card advantage, but Mark has the board advantage. He can, if Carbon gets down the douche. Okay, so you say if he got down the douche and then the Guildsworn, he gets the.
I swear, thank you.
All right, Harpy coming down. He is really not wanting to give Mark that card draw. Probably the wise decision. I'm making notes for myself here. He's willing to take that 3 or leave that 3 on the board as a threat in order to deny. Oh, and Kano, what a great pull by Mark. A heads-up play that really puts him in a great position. I don't know that Carbon's going to be able to answer all of that. Obviously, Piercing Javelin for one of them. Takes the bigger of the two, makes sense. Probably the douche coming down next turn and possibly Cradle Crush. Nope, that's way more magic than you have. So the douche does come down. He might actually ping the 3/1. Okay, so he is going to opt for card draw versus to get that 3 off the board. That and Kano, that Mana Marco and Kano, the O's, all the O's coming up really big time. I'm missing something. How did the 1/2 come back? Oh, New Era. There you go. I was like, well, how did he have a 1/2? It is a premium 1/2. So the revenge of the revenge. We now have a sweet roll that is pressed into service. Oh my goodness, that's a great combo right there from Carbon. These two Titans are duking it out here. That's coming back and forth with clutch plays and draws, heads up stuff. Obviously an immolating blast, Dawn's Wrath, or New Era. All that could really be a problem. But anything Mark puts down to contest runs the risk of a rage, because he can play the Guildsworn. Okay, no, he has not but removal in hand, but it is enough to stave off another. Oh, Wilds Incarnate. Completely worthless for the draw, but it's a 5/7 body. 5/6 body. I stand corrected immediately because I don't usually play the goofy-looking moose. I don't know how the moose runs. I mean, those are giant sails that would just catch the air. I don't know how he actually makes any headway. And New Air is going to come down. Oh boy, the mash removal has just been huge, and there's still one more of those in the deck, so Carbon knows he's not out of the woods yet in that regard. Mark playing around Unstoppable Rage, presumably. Also, of course, looking for a clear shot at face. Having that 4/3, the Praetorian Commander really coming up clutch there to allow him to put lethal on the board in that lane. Guildsworn and Unstoppable can clear the lane, though. Guildsworn, I believe, is a 5/6. Okay, chooses... Oh, he's a 4/6. Okay, he still would have cleared. Am I doing my math wrong? It would have been 13. It cost 13. And right now, Mark is within striking range, but I do recall this deck doesn't have a... Oh, it looks like he might have reach. He does! No, the guard is there, unless he can remove it. Okay, he's going to... Oh, boy. Carbon now on the back foot. Oh, and a Yellowed Guardian is going to close it out. There really is no option here. Oh. I mean, it... Yeah. Good game to both. Good game to both. Wow, that really came down to it. We got to see some really great late game plays there, and it kind of became, wasn't exactly a top deck battle, but it really came down to it. Good game to both players. It was well fought, I think. And again, got to see some high level play from two players in the top 50. Fantastic. Very happy to see that. Alrighty, we are back into another Sea City game. He has now switched to Assassin. Have to wait and see exactly what kind. I actually do recognize this. The gauntlet that was run this past weekend, the Wax Wayne, he actually crafted this deck. You don't typically see a lot of Wax Wayne in Assassin, or at least I don't. He did it thinking that it was going to just be kind of a meh, but as I believe as he said it, it was did much better than he expected it to, or that he thought it deserved to be. And so we're going to see it here in action on this game here, up against what seems to be another Empire control. So Sea City has run into back-to-back Empire control. I believe I'm probably getting my... No, it was Carbon that went up against... Yeah, I'm getting my games confused already here. But we do see Empire Control alive and well on the ladder as of now. Sea City with a full hando cards, lots of draw power. Rebellion General and Moongate is going to be a wicked combo a little bit later. He's probably looking for some other kitties to make the best use of those. Or maybe just, turn 9, that would be a crazy play to make. But he is on the clock here, as we know. Oh, hey, we do not see. I gotta get to look up his name. I haven't seen this guy in a long time. Lion Guard Strategist. I've got words. Oh, Blackhand Messenger. All right. Hey, he's not quite so bad when he's in your hand. It's just a pain in the butt when he's armed up against you. But I think Sea City is definitely going to be going in as hard and fast as he can, knowing that as soon as he hits turn 11, he is... And we get a concession right there. Great for Sea City. Congratulations. Horrible for this, but I'm going to leave it up because it was essentially a full game. Alrighty, we have caught Adrian, P111, at the very beginning of a game. Fortunately for us, we're actually getting in right at the start. up against a Guildsworn. We can only hope that it's not invade, but I have a feeling Adrian is going to be more
there.
game about it than we would be. We shall see what the opponent is playing. Again, we do see what looks to be another Empire control. So as I said, they are alive and well on the ladder. Very popular deck at the time. And as I suspected, New Era is in hand because it always seemed to come down on curve. But we will see how well Adrian does against our Red Guard guest. I don't know if that's an attempt to make it seem like, oh, I'm a newbie. I don't usually play this game. But with that 3/3, we are not out of the woods in terms of this possibly being a invade deck. We do know, though, that Empire runs a ton of removal and ways to deal with invades. So Adrian should be in good stead if this does in fact turn out to be an invade. Playing down the 1/2 in the shadow lane, anticipating the possible release of a gate. Also, it would be a 2-for-1 in the field lane. And invade come down, Sigil Keeper, another card that always seems to be there on curve. So Adrian is going to have his work cut out for him, at least in my experience. But like I said, Empire does have, especially if he's running executes and the creepy chef. That's what I'm going to call him now. I don't care what his name is, but I'm just going to call him the creepy chef. Obviously, that ward is the warding the 1/2 in his quest to close the gate. Even with all those options, I mean, he's got an edict, which is nice to have sitting in your hand for that gate if it goes out of control. It's very hard for, especially this early in the game, it's hard for invade to be able to turn things around very quickly on one turn. And that ward is not going to protect it from the edict. So Adrian probably has 3 or 4 turns. He's going to let that gate build up, get a little bit bigger, bide his time, wait for the Red Guard to play out. If he's got like Invasion Party and things like that, that you want to see at least one of those in theory get played out before you take out the gate. Right now, he's not really at any risk of like the board is not going to run away from him. So hopefully he holds on to it, at least in my view. But then again, I don't play invade anymore, so play against invade anymore. So what do I know? We'll see if he sees it the same way. Again, not a very threatening board from the opponent. Going to be able to ramp up probably a fresh start next turn. Depends. One of the best things you can do, a lot of people have said it as well, is just kind of starve invade out of cards. You definitely don't want to give them a bunch of options, especially at this point in the game. Turn 5 and above with Invasion Party possibly in hand.
Yeah, I just talked.
Okay, now we're going to see a pupper. We're going to see a dog. Doggy come out. Barbas charge.
What I was looking for.
Nope. Going for the card draw there. Has to be expected. This is Red Guard is trying to build up a hand, build up enough so that they can ramp the gate up and also play a bunch of creatures that get keywords in one turn. Could just see a fresh start here. I don't know that Red Guard is planning on going face and giving Adrian cards, so no, he's not going to take any chances on the gate getting any bigger. That could have been what Red Guard is waiting for, though. He is going to break some runes. Okay, I think he realizes that he is going to have to be the aggressor in here. And the... Okay, I was going to say and it begins, but it not yet. It is a board now that does need to be addressed. And especially now that we know Red Guard has no qualms with going face, they can essentially get Adrian down to 12 on the next turn. I'm not going to lie, it's looking a little dire. He is going to be able to squish. Initiate, great pickup there. Oof. That's hard, because you want to take out the gate, or you want to take out the 4/4 and leave, so that you're well, no, if you took out the 4/4, he'd still be off the board. So yeah, he took as much damage off. A guard is going to be super helpful here, just not if Red Guard has. Doesn't look like he's sitting on any invade cards. He would have played it if he did. So he's got enough to play Phalanx Exemplar and Golden initiate. He just has to hope Redguard doesn't have the 6/6.
Never give ground.
Oh, I'm sorry, the 6 cost
Speak,
invasion
citizen.
version of, what is it called? The Nightmare Begins or something. The one that allows for an invade trigger along with removal. Does not look like Redguard has it, because that would be the obvious play at this point. Adrian putting down the 3/3 to bait the goofy-looking alien symbiote thing. What do you call it? Invasion Marauder. Does it have a shield? Is it really carrying a shield? Is that what I'm seeing here? I don't know. I can't tell. I don't care. It's dead. That's the important thing. All right, so he is going to... Adrian has stalled him out a little bit. Wow, did not expect that. Is that a Daedra? I've never really looked. It is a Daedra. Interesting. I don't have that card. I thought about getting it because it seemed kind of cool, but it's very peculiar. Daedra is such a very diverse cadre of people. One more turn away from New Era. It would be a sad New Era at this point. Chidala Treachery would have been nice, but... Oh, another New Era. So, yeah, Adrian's going to be able to...
Superb work.
to stave off...
Many thanks.
What have we here?
Redguard, especially if Redguard just dumps his hand on this play. It's probably the best that Adrian could hope for. Really trying to ramp up the gate. Yep, that's right in line there. He's not going to probably be able to do more than 9 damage in this turn. Oh, this is going to be a juicy New Era. This is pretty big. And can he even play another one? I know it does cost reduction. Nope, he's looking to close it out. New Era is probably going to be the play here.
Most unfortunate.
Little bit of taunting or
Nicely
emoting,
done.
but Redguard takes it in stride and compliments Adrian on the play there.
You're too kind.
Oh, so I mean, this is some nice banter going back and forth. Apparently, both players are amicable here to the discussion. That's probably the most extensive and polite discourse I've seen between two people, and that one of them didn't escalate it and say, "Oh, I'm going to kill you," or "You're going to die," or something. It was just very nice. So Adrian on his back foot now, a handful of cards. And that is actually a supplication, imploring of the gods that is actually very apropos, considering Redguard is looking to make that final push, and knows that he is dangerously low on cards. Amulet's going to come down. This right here is going to be a big... I think we've seen a stabilization from Adrian. I think he's going to be able to level out here. Chose not to... Well, no, I don't think he could have... I was going to say, Chidala Treachery is more than likely to come into play, but he needs a low-cost card to play with it. Right now, Chidala is just kind of clunking up the hand. Although, no, with 14 Magicka, yeah, he could play Shadowfen and then Chidala something. The pickings are a little slim here, especially if the 3/3 dot goes down. If it doesn't, he may want to consider Treachery on it.
Superb work.
All right, a little more emoting here. That actually would have been a great pickup for... I wonder if Adrian is running Mana Marco. If he is,
Superb work.
more than likely he's going to
Many
want...
thanks.
Oh, no, this is just cordial conversation. Going on back and
Most
forth.
unfortunate.
Oh, and another call as he puts down New Era and wipes the board.
Nicely done.
And another nicely done from the opponent. Being a very good sport about having his entire board wiped out twice. Got some Razzmadazms in the deck now. Some charge. That's 21 points of damage, by the way. If Adrian gets some favorable RNG, he could see drawing a couple of those and being able to make a final push. Probably going to be very cautious here, and understandably,
Most unfortunate.
I bark and birth. This is interesting.
because and that's the other thing about Invade. Another
Bear's guidance.
these are some chatty fellows, aren't they? Because Razzmadazm usually is a great card, but he's going to be probably pulling a lot of Invade nonsense. A guard is good, but that's the great thing about if you are playing with invade, you've got a bunch of cards that your opponent really isn't going to be able to make great use of. In this case, though, his yeah, okay, he's going to let Razum. That's the thing. He can allow Razum to stay on the board because more than likely Razum is not going to pull a card that is going to benefit Adrian all that well. So he can continue to make his bid for face. Oh wow! Oh, he is threatening lethal here. Is he going to take out Razum? I don't think so. Yeah, no, it's he is really come a long way. Now, to be fair, Adrian has a ton of guards to play. He's got that amulet, so he is certainly not in dire straits, but he's teetering. He's teetering. No drain in hand. He's going to guard up lane to shore up against, and probably put another one down. Or take one. Yoink, he says, as he takes the 4/4. And that might have sealed it because there's... Okay, that's it.
Too kind.
And I would expect a concession from Redguard at this point, knowing that that's probably one of the very few cards Adrian could have taken that is beneficial to him.
Well.
Yep, he sees it.
Done.
You're too kind.
And maybe the two... Well, I would say they know each other, but how do you know if you know Redguard Guest? That's such a generic title. I don't think we're going to see an attack here. He's just trying to get another guard down. Up to 10. Looks like Redguard is going to stick it out. Removing a guard from the shadow lane, so if he does have more charge, it's something he can possibly parlay. Manticora, though, is going to be probably the death knell here. Adrian is now... Well, if he attacks now... He's not, I don't think he's going to, but if he did, he probably wants to get him down to 20 to 26 if he can, or as close as possible. No, he chooses to just go ahead and hold off. A little more emoting there. Okay, so he is gonna try to close, and I think 12, 17, 19,
your reward in paradise.
26. He has exact lethal on the board, obviously, and he's got removal for any guards, silence for guards, so Adrian should be able to close it out on this turn without a problem, if he chooses to do so. Some people want to have a little bit of a buffer. Okay, he's going to play it right off the jump. It looks like he's going to make some trades here. Maybe I miscounted. Maybe I was off of lethal by 1 or 2. But it looked like he would have had a pretty clean shot. Obviously, removal, if it had hit, would have foiled his plans. But just definitely being very cautious about giving out more cards. Does he still have lethal? Does he still have it? See, and that's where Shadowfen would have been a good thing to hold on to. I don't know. 8, 11, 15. It's not going to be able to close it out here. Probably doesn't want to hit with anything more than the 4, just to avoid. Okay, all right. And he's going to call it there. Okay.
Prepare to die.
We may be seeing a little bit more ruthlessness from Adrian, just because he is playing against Invade. You don't know mercy for Invade, and that will do it. Adrian will take down.
Nicely done.
And hey, you know what? Again, give it to our Redguard guest. He's been very amicable through the process. Been very complimentary. It's been a pretty friendly game. Little bit of dragging it out here. We're going to go ahead and close out. Congratulations to Adrian. Game is over though at this point. So well done. Beating Invade. It was a very long battle, very well fought. In the final match of today, we are back with Carbon 77. I tried to see Mark's game, but we kind of caught him in the middle, so we are going to finish it off here. Carbon has slipped a little bit in the rankings at 58 now, still holding pretty strong there. Guessing he's making a push for a bid for top 10, as I would imagine anybody who's this high on the ladder climb this early in the season is. Although I guess we're about a third of the way through the season. Just because people like me are sitting in rank 4 doesn't mean that the season is not passing us by. All right, so we are, and you don't see it very often. In fact, you don't see it so often. The attributes, I can't even remember what the heck blue, yellow, and green is called. The only deck I ran with even moderate success was the Drain game, the version of that. This looks like just I wonder if this is like a Stealer of Secrets. It does have charge in agility. It does have Mentor's Ring. And tons of action and willpower, so it could be a Stealer deck, I suppose. I feel like that's a roundabout way to go about it, but we will see exactly what the opponent has in store. They don't seem to have... I'm guessing they're sitting on Javelin and
I'll try to draw their fire.
the Banish, so we're going to see that probably come down on the Black Dragon. Cast into Time is what I was thinking of. If this is in fact a removal heavy deck, otherwise it could just be a rough draw. There it is. It is action. We see the 4/3 go down.
Your destruction is at hand.
Cruel Fire Bloom. That's an ugly combination. Could whiff really badly. Okay, that was... I wouldn't say the best outcome. Obviously, it would have been better to hit the 3/4, but
All power flies.
pretty good here. On curve Ice Storm. Bit of a punish, but not crippling, as the 3/4 would still survive. Be able to knock opponent down to 14. Phalanx Exemplar. Well, and yeah, no, that would actually make for a great Alfeet Conjurer next turn. Again, it's really hard, though, when you're up against an opponent that you know is running a ton of removal. There's really nothing you expect to stick. Did not expect to see that. That seems like a very aggressive card. Especially considering, I'm guessing maybe Azure Push 3? Or Azure... Well, I want to pronounce it the other way. Maybe just had a really clunky hand, but it looks like Carbon is going to finish this one out with ease. We may do one more after this because this was a lot faster than I thought it would be based on what we saw coming in right out of the gate.
I bow to your
And
victory.
Azure is going to go down. Carbon showing the aggressive side of his Guildsworn list there. And we will see what game is going to be the final. Alrighty, for real though, our final game will be against Carbon 77. I want to thank you, sir, very much. You have been able to provide the bulk of the games that we've been able to see here today. We had a few others in the process, but... Oh, and we are seeing a different deck from Carbon now. We are Assassin... Prophecy Assassin? Really no other way to call it when you can see a Dark Harvester and Fate Weaver. That's pretty much indication we are going prophecy heavy. So good to see. Carbon, thanks so much for changing it up. I didn't ask for that, certainly, but it's good to see a different deck coming into play here, just for a smattering of variety. And very courageous, too. I mean, he's definitely in the mix, been kind of, giving as good as he got, but just decided to change it up there. In theory, in the future, I'd be able to, maybe on a different screen, communicate and ask some questions. I really don't want to distract from what the players are doing, but just to kind of get some background as to what they're running and why they choose to do it, things of that nature. This looks like it's kind of it's a prophecy, but also RNG build. We see like things like Desperate Conjuring in conjunction with our Spy Master. So it's kind of beseech the gods type of deck. So a really good one to go out on. Certainly not something I expected. We have Disappointment Dragon coming in, more or less on curve there. Desperate Conjuring, 2/4.
Make it good.
And Oric doing 1 dinky damage. Can he not do anything? I thought he would do at least 1 damage.
Should have been more worthy.
I thought he counted. Oh well, apparently not. If he could have, he would have, I'm sure.
Of the hiss.
Another Desperate Conjuring, so probably going to see that on... Well, may want to try Fate Weaver next turn.
The hist heals and rejuvenates.
Distiller is going to get some value off of the 2-1. Num 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 eats the Orc, unfortunately. It's going to get that Magicka boost. Permanent Magicka boost. If it pilfers, it's a temporary boost. A spike to be sure, but only for 1 turn. Carbon choosing not to attack.
Should have been more worthy.
And is going to just, yeah, it looks like Riker, probably Riker, I'm guessing 969, has a very strong upper hand here, unless Carbon has got a battle plan of some other kind. Hey, and there you go. Dark Harvester coming in clutch there with +4, getting another body on the board, another guard on the board. Wardcrafter, Fighters Guild, all great answers to what's there. Oh, Mulamir. Oh my gosh, what a clutch draw is going to be able to take on the 6/6. That's about it. Mulamir is a little bit dicey when it comes to taking out cards that could kill him. So he won't touch lethal, and he certainly won't touch a 3/3. Wow, what a turn. Unfortunately, that is not the 10 cost that you want to see. He's going to roll again. Oh gosh, another dud draw. You know, I just wonder where those kind of draws were when my opponents were playing that. I guess it's not because it actually came out of an action. I was proven wrong. That might have been one of the better pickups he could have gotten. Other than no, Iron Atronach wouldn't have been great either because of course he's got a lethal on board. Carbon may have stabilized. It looked really dicey there for a second, but that Dark Harvester prophecy was huge. Enabled him to get quite a bit of value out of those desperate conjurings. I think they're desperate, right? Conjuring of some kind. I think it's desperate. Drain coming down. Warding up the 2/2 just so that it does not provide an easy target for the Blood Magic Lord, who's just going to go face anyway, looking to close out the game. Oh, Yelled Guardian for the second time. We see that one come down. And yeah, it's immune to lethal. I really, you know, that's one of the things I find is very cruel about that. I think an 11 cost. I believe it's 11. Was it 11? 11 cost that puts 2 8/8s on the board, 8/8 guards. I think that's good enough. They don't have to be immune to lethal. Lore-wise, I think it's fine. They're stone, so it would make sense. But I do think it makes them a little OP, and that might have just. All right. Well played there. I think that was the best outcome. Would have taken me a little longer. I'm not sure I would even come to that conclusion. Another Dark Harvester prophecy, another clutch prophecy there. I mean, that's why you run them. And it is going to, however, give Riker blood magic, which allows him to put a card down. A little bit better case scenario than the 5 drain, but he may be sitting on that. I think he has another one. I think he got 2. You get 1 for the summon, and then of course you got 1 there, so he may be sitting on the 5/5. Best case scenario, he got Corpse Curse, which of course he doesn't really need to use. But if he does have the 5 drain in hand, that is going to be game over, despite the prophecy there. We will see. And it is a 5 drain life, and Carbon goes down to a high pressure scout list. So that'll conclude our commentary for the evening. You can let me know what you think. I think it was a little bit rough, but I'm trying to get the juices flowing because, like I said, I would like to in the future be able to commentate during tournaments and things like that. Obviously, I'm not going to put myself forward for that. I think it helps, if I can broadcast the game. If you just want to see it without commentary, you just want to see the gameplay, you can let me know that too. It's more about what you want to see, not about what I want to do. It is kind of fun for me to be able to watch games again, but also be able to provide them for other people to watch. The reason I got into this and why I started doing this in the first place was because there was a dearth. There are still people, obviously, there are some channels out there that are still creating content, but it was a little more sporadic. It wasn't enough to satisfy my appetite for it. So I was like, well, screw it, I'll just go ahead and do it. But like I said, it's given me an opportunity to watch other people play and to be able to show their skill and their abilities, which, as I said, far exceed mine. And so I'm looking to do this on the days where I'm kind of just not feeling the playing, or not feeling like making that push myself, but more than happy to watch Legends and be able to show them to you all. And again, if you ever come across a game, I think I've gotten most people sign off that I have on the list, or I've at least put that out there. If you ever do see a game and you're like, hey, I don't show my games, hopefully we can agree to let the game stay on the video that's already been published. If not, I will take it down and re-edit and repost without your game in there. Otherwise, I'll just make sure that I don't put your game on moving forward. But I'm guessing most folks don't mind. I know at least some of you have expressed an interest in seeing your games played for educational purposes, to be able to, not by my commentary, but to be able to watch your own games and see what you did and kind of reevaluate things. So, thanks so much for watching. Probably have a video, my play video for Wednesday, or however this is going to work out. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to upload these or what that rating will be, but you will see this video and you will see my next video at some point during this week. That's all I can say for right now. Thank you so much for watching. Keep playing.